Hi guys, good morning, and we are live today for the America's qualifiers of the World Esports IESF tournament with WEC 2023. We'll be your casters for today. I'm Rockhart, and with me is Burger Kim. How are you, Kim, today?
Good. Got a bit stressed out before the broadcast because I got locked out of my place, but I'm all right now. I'm here right now with you guys. So, yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And honestly, there's a lot going on in the MLBB scene. So, this is one of them, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I'm that's unfortunate. I'm very lucky. You're very lucky that you still got on. So that's very good to hear. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but for you guys out there, this is the Americas qualifier. So we'll see representatives from different countries battle it out for that slot in the WEC tournament that will be happening, I believe, in Romania later on in this year. And it's been 10 years from what I've heard since we have seen this tournament in Romania. That should be interesting.
They're hosting actually a couple of tournaments before, like way back. So for other titles as well. So I think this year it's gonna be big. I think especially like for MLBB because last season, well, last time it was in Bali. So this time it's yeah, in Romania. Beautiful city, by the way. And there's gonna be six game titles, 600 plus athletes with almost like more than five titles that will be in IESF this year. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the teams actually in Americas because they actually made a huge scene in the World Championships as well. So for me, I'm really looking forward to this one.
That's true. Actually, a lot of the what you would say here in locally for us, a lot of people really look forward to teams from Brazil as well. So, yeah, Americas definitely has a very booming mobile esports community, not just in MLB but also for different titles. So I completely agree. We'll definitely look forward to a lot of the games that we're gonna have today. And speaking of games, we do have a few best of threes in store for you guys. So hope you guys are ready wherever part of the world you're in. We're also live on the multiple channels. So say hi to us if you can see us. And yeah, very excited to see MLBB action here today. Um, there was a huge patch in MLBB that we just saw recently. So that should be interesting to see how teams are taking it. Because it's been a while since we've seen teams internationally fight. But for the meantime, here is the roster for Argentina right in front of your screens. Got Sid Meteoro, Hide on Bush, Arctic, and Frost.
Well, I love that hide on bush IGN. It's just so. That's Tigreal's line. So I like that. That's the
Yes.
first thing that came to mind. So it's just wow. I thought the other regions here were pretty witty, but Argentina, you guys are super creative. I love that. You mentioned Rauhart that this is also like one of the teams that people are looking forward to seeing, especially the noise, the impact they made in the recent international gigs. So yeah, I know Bush. I'm looking forward to that
Yeah.
Tigreal if ever.
I wonder if he is a Tigreal, right? We don't even know yet. So, I this is the fun thing about watching international tournaments, especially from the up and comers. You never know what's gonna be coming up right now. In the recent patch, we did see a lot of changes, but for the meantime, let's watch the roster here from the opposition. On the other side, right now, it is going to be Team Brazil. We got Buzizio, Luna making the comeback here, Super Syndra, Upatizi, and Black.
Oh, Luna and Upatizi. Yeah, we've seen these guys. We've seen these guys play, and I love it that they're making this comeback as well in IESF. So it's Brazil and Argentina for you guys. So a couple of interesting ideas. And you mentioned the patch, right, Rob Hart? It's pretty big for this one. A lot of heroes that were given buffs. Some of my favorites personally. So a lot of tags. Some items were nerfed as well. So I think that's something we should take into consideration.
What are these
And this is
specific
the
favorites?
specifically.
That'll be
Oh
cool.
man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Carmilla. Like I think I always say this on stream everywhere because I love her.
Oh,
I love everything about her. So
there it
I
is.
love the fact that her roots are also in Romania, right? Like her character is based from a Romanian story. So I love that. It's all connecting together. Favorite hero. Maybe there's a specific reason why I like her. She's very tanky, has sustain, but I'm not so sure if this is the type of hero that will be utilized here in this patch right now. Like maybe some teams are comfortable with it. She started like a niche pick, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, other regions surprised me, so let's see for this one. Hopefully they'll bring it out her.
Oh, you never really know, right? And I'm very excited to see what our teams are gonna bring out today. And of course, we got a huge prize pool of $100,000 on the line here for the finals. So that's something that these teams are definitely going to be fighting for. And again, I have to bring it up again. It is best of three for the day. It is going to be the first one. And again, we have seen a lot of these both of these teams previously from other major international tournaments as well. So exciting to see. But that, for me personally, that's been a while, right? Those times that we have seen Luna come out on stage. I believe that was way back in the previous World Championships for MLBB. So that's something to definitely watch out for.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, like with these regions being so close to each other, I think the meta should more or less be the same, right? Like these teams usually like put up scrims together, they play together, they're playing in the same server. So I think more or less these teams should have some information on each other. But what makes it really interesting when I do international casts is because I get to see like what sort of meta is in this region, what sort of heroes are favored in this region because it really varies. Like it's different cultures all around the world. I think even for for the land of Dawn, it's also the same, right? Like different flavors, different type of play style. So that's something I'm looking forward to here today too. So best out of three, there's a lot that can happen here, Rockhart, especially since BO3s it's either a sweep or you can force it out to a game of three.
That's true. I'm pretty sure some of the players that we have right now are definitely looking forward to what kind of meta these teams are going to shape. Especially, I feel like I've been seeing the rank games recently. They've been really, really rowdy. A lot of alphas making a comeback on the XP lane. So that's something that maybe we can watch out for. And I wonder if we'll ever see the old Luna Akai make a comeback here. You know, you never really know, right? I remember her name was actually his name rather his name is actually from named after his daughter or her daughter here,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is it really touched a lot of hearts here when I heard that the origin, the background story of these teams from Brazil. Definitely these players from Argentina definitely should be one to watch out for as well.
Mhm. Especially both Argentina and Brazil, they're quite popular here in the Philippines. They actually have a good fan base. Like whenever they would post something on their social media accounts, it just gets a lot of traction, especially from the Filipino fans, Southeast Asia fans, like all around the world. These I mean, all eyes are on these people as well. So um, pretty big, especially since this is probably one of the biggest appearances that they will have actually for this year. So I always say this every time that there's a BO3 or like even in the group stages, the starting stages. Um, this is the time wherein like you get to check what your opponent is like. You get to check like what their comforts are like, or at the same time like you can kind of tell like what their play style is. So it's gonna be an interesting day. So from today, 25th up until the 28th, you get a lot of MLBB actions for America, and yeah, there you have it. America and Brazil coming up next.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge BO free. I'm glad we're out of that BO ones because recently there have been a lot of BO ones, especially in other major tournaments where we've seen teams really fall off. So let's go ahead and start this best of three between Argentina and Brazil, all on the line with a road to Romania this time around. It's gonna be,
I didn't cure the
I
pain.
believe,
Your
I
team.
hunt.
Argentina on the blue side, and of course Brazil on the red side.
Here's the thing about the banning, right? 10 bans for the first phase. So I actually did a show earlier, an MLBB show. So we talked a bit about the patch, whether or not the buffs or the nerfs actually will have an effect on the hero. And this is actually one of the heroes that we discussed. When was Valentina released? 2021, right? 2021. It's already 2023, and this girl is still up on the ban list. So I mean, her ultimate's a game changer, and I honestly would put her in the prio ban as well. I don't know about you, Harakar.
Valentina definitely a worthy band there. And Wanwan, actually, marksmen in general have actually been a target ban for a lot of regions for a long time now. And I was wondering what's gonna happen now that we've seen changes to Demon Hunter Sword, right? To the Golden Staff,
Golden
these
Staff
attack
too.
speed items, right? So that's something that maybe we can watch out for here today.
Valentina. There's also adjustments or nerfs on the Kaja, the Fire Mist that is a popular pick. I would say in all the regions that I've casted, the Arlot has been nerfed, but I don't think it's enough to take it out of the ban list just yet. I mean, it's such a game changer, especially with the meta right now. Well, this is the Southeast Asian meta. It's more of like the heavy sustain, right? And the Arlot is just a great answer to that. So I like these first two bans, but I think for the red side, they can choose to ban like maybe like the S tier heroes. I've yet to see like new heroes in the patch come out. Like maybe these two teams will actually surprise us. We talked. I actually discussed a little bit about the alpha jungle earlier in my MLBB show, and we talked about the true damage. So will this be alpha back in the jungle, or yeah, maybe like what you said, right? Could be in the XP lane as well.
Oh, you're talking about the Alpha Unlimited True Damage build,
Mhm.
the machine gun build that we've been seeing here. That's definitely something to watch out for. And I wonder if teams are ready to do that right now. But we also want to see on game one who is going to be establishing their comfort picks. That's something to find out for sure. But right now, nothing is. We don't see any targeted bans yet. So maybe something
Right.
that we can see here on the next phase of the pickings. Very excited, definitely. I also
It's taking that
will.
time too.
Oh yeah, there it is. There's a Paramus.
That
Still
is-
gonna be locked out. Again, time and time again, this hero has been nerfed to the ground, but still definitely
Mhm.
something to fear here. The world of MLBB.
Oh, here's the thing. I have a question though, Rockhart. Is Novaria open right now? I think that's one of the heroes that we have to consider as well in the banning phase. I'm not so sure if it's free to use as well in the tournaments, or maybe still not allowed to use. I mean, it needs like a 2 week period, right, before you can use it in the tournaments. Not so sure about this one, but I would love to see it. That's very bold though.
Oh.
Cat on the bush. Look at that Lancelot.
All right, starting off strong here with a solid jungle pick. Again, if you have not been watching a lot of international MLBB, this hero has been flexed on the tank role with a Demon Slayer emblem and a Molten Essence. But then again, Molten Essence also a target of the bans, or the nerfs rather, in the recent patch. And wow, okay, a very specialized pick. I'm not sure what I feel about this. But definitely just
There you
flexing
go.
it maybe. There it is.
I mean, the skin is quite rare, so I would definitely flex that one. But I love his first two picks from Brazil as well. They got an Eve to cover the high ground. They also got a Grok. Still not so sure if this is an XP lane Grok, like the lethal type of Grok, or is it a Robo Grok. So very flex pick, very flexible, can go pro. So great answer. But Argentina, super aggressive here.
Yeah, actually, the Eve, I'm surprised it got through. Usually, the Eve is one of the prio bans for the blue side, or the red side rather. And now it's been going out. They are able to pick it up, and it's gonna be Argentina with a Kaja, like you mentioned. I wonder if the changes are enough to really merit picking it up still, despite the really massive changes to this hero.
Well, the Kaja, I would say it's a great answer. Like next to the Franco, that is probably one of the heroes that can cancel the real world manipulation or the ultimate of the Eve. So I understand a pick might go more or less should go to the Rome. I mean, if they do put it in mid, there's not a lot of AoE. So maybe perhaps we could see the Farsa, not unless Brazil will ban that out in the second phase. Will they go aggressive as well with this third pick? Because they got a pretty aggressive lineup here for Argentina. So I'm not so sure if they'll lock in their jungler as well. And Redbit's still pretty good right now, despite the nerfs that it was a given. So still a thing. Still a thing.
Yeah, and don't forget, Frederick's also a strong jungle possibility and an XP laner, which can be
Mhm.
flexed very, very well. So I love this third pick right now coming in from Brazil. Wonder what Argentina is going to come on. I mean, what they have right now is, of course, that Kaja, which will kind of discourage any strong, aggressive plays. So they're going to have to really pick out who they're going to pick up on the gold lane here. I think the gold lane they need some of that range so they can kind of just force the Kaja into a situation where he needs to go for those flickers, right? So of course Farsa going out, you still want to make sure that your mid lane is going to be the target, or you want to make sure this Eve is safe, and of course banning out Farsa is one of the easiest ways to do that.
Yeah, Farsa, like I mentioned, we usually see like those high ground mages battling it out in the mid lane. I'm not so sure right now if they're gonna be suppressing that mid role. Like maybe perhaps like I'm still not so sure about the Novaria. I'll check it out later if it's allowed to be used in this tournament because I think it's such a great has great range, gives the vision for the team. So I mean, there's already a Kaja. What more if you combine it with the Novaria? Not so
Oh
sure.
yeah.
They probably should take away maybe like gold laners here. I'm not so sure what Brazil has in mind here. Will you
Yeah.
make sure that you guys have the upper hand in AOE, or will it be a gold laner battle?
Yeah, that's definitely something we'll have to ask later on because I'm also not 100% sure. And I love that they're really, really banning out that mid lane, though. This is a very viable strategy. You want to make sure that your Eve, I mean, Eve already is OP, right? Like, just super duper strong. But banning out heroes that can potentially dive on the Eve, that is still pretty smart. Now, what will be the answer here for Argentina? They could still go and try to block out that gold lane. Beatrix still a very strong pick.
Mhm.
And the gold, aside from obviously the banned out Wan Wan and the Brody as well. But if they do ban out that gold lane, they might be in trouble as well. Because don't forget, Argentina doesn't have their gold laner at this point. There's a Brody.
Spot on with the Brody. Spot on. Will they go for like a mage gold lane here? I think both teams they haven't revealed their gold laner just yet, and they've already limited a lot of options here. So perhaps I think for Brazil, they probably maybe safe answer here Beatrix or Melissa. I would say pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Or yeah, those things are still open right now. So maybe with that, I think they're just still waiting if they would pick the gold lane or maybe reveal like their roamer here because I'm really anticipating this is an XP lane, bro.
You know what? The Melissa is actually really, really strong right now for Brazil with the lack of super artillery mages like the Farsa, like the Eve. He could actually make an
Mhm.
appearance, and there it goes. Just like he called it, Melissa. Very strong DPS, looking good for Brazil. And of course, the hard counter to a Melissa. If you can hit those sniper shots from the runner's apathy, you could actually win out that lane altogether.
This biggest question though, Rockheart. Who's gonna be the mid lane? Oh yeah, I love
Oh,
this too.
wait,
I love yeah, those two. Any of those
those
are
two.
really good.
Any of those two. I mean, if you have a Kagura,
Any of
why
those two.
not, right? But yes,
Mhm.
absolutely
Yeah.
looking good right now. That is the pick you want to go for. You need range. And Argentina, they realize this straight on.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised why this wasn't like prioritized. So I think maybe a Lancelot here for Argentina was such a bold move. Plus, it might be a comfort here for Argentina as well. Because sometimes, I mean, it's fine. Like, okay, prio pick that. It doesn't matter. We're comfortable with it and we're confident about it. So I like that about Argentina. very solid, and they actually opt to pick out this Novaria, which a lot of us haven't seen just yet. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it in ranked games, but in professional play, probably this is also my first time. Your first time as well, Rob. Hard to see this in play. Now, looking at Brazil, what are they going to go for? Will they go for center tags here? Is it the Grok as the roamer? That's the biggest question.
Oh man, that's right. Center Grok can also be flexed to XP lane. We've seen that a few times already. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot
Grok
of
Lapu
flex here
Lapu.
for Brazil. There it is. There's the SS.
Confirmed.
There it is. All right,
Wow.
Luna.
This is just
R-
very
This is gonna
Blacklist
be cool.
International.
That's exactly
He's
what I
using the
was
skin too.
thinking, man. The the BFF buff right here, guys. It's the BFF
Mm.
buff for Luna from Brazil, picking up the Estes on the 5th pick, and that confirms it. You have a jungle Fredrin and an XP lane Grok here for Brazil. And on the other side, we are gonna see Novaria coming out for Argentina. This should be fun, and this should be one for the books. I would love to see the possibilities that these pro players can do with the Novaria. I've seen a lot of clips already on YouTube and TikTok. I wonder if that's going to be a thing here today. I've seen one-hit wonders coming out from Novaria mains, and actually Novaria is kind of flexible as well if you put it on the roam position, but obviously we're not going to see that
Mhm.
here.
Well, we actually I discussed that in my MLBB show. It was live, by the way, earlier, so you guys can check it out. Check out my page. So we talked a little bit about that, the Roam Novaria. I'd love to see it in mid, but Roam is just so good. You know, I tried this combo. Okay, since both of them are going up against each other, I've tried. Well, my squad has tried the Roam Novaria and then even the mid lane. And it's just so
Oh,
hard for the mid lane to move. I mean, can you imagine that? Hold that thought, Rockhart. It's actually the XP lane, Fredrin, and a Grok in the jungle. Check it out.
oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, we got some innovation coming here from Brazil. That's actually quite rare if you think about it. But I like Argentina's early game, though. They are looking like they will have domination around the Lethal Wanderer. And of course, the Predator won't have much help as well for that. So overall, we do have quite a stalemate. We'll have to see who has the upper hand in the early game. Who do you think has that? Right now, it seems like we are gonna see a lot more of a top-centric rotation coming in from Argentina.
And this is most of the time we see it um, gold lane rotation, since this is going to be the hero that will. Oh, wow. Hey, a little bit low there.
That's a pretty good
Able
poke
to
there
escape.
coming in. Yep, and we will see, of course, Lancelot level 4 be wary of a power spike of this hero, although it is confirmed it is a tank build Lancelot still. Despite the nerfs on the Molten Essence, will still be picked up as a first item.
I think for Brazil here, they're also considering the fact that it's gonna be a lapu lapu in the XP lane, so they do need to sustain. I mean, if they're gonna do like a grab damage, that might be a bit hard, especially since Argentina does have the upper hand here. The junglers, Lancelot, can dash in and out, securing objectives. And speaking of that one, here comes the first turtle of the game.
Yep, first turtle right now. It is a stun lock here. Hydon Bush having a hard time moving. It will be met with the Appraiser's Wrath, but not before he takes that turtle. Looking good so far for Argentina. That early game power really coming in strong, even with the first blood on the Estes.
Red team hero has been
It's
slain.
a really good start here for Argentina. Quite expected with the lineup. They can definitely go all aggressive. Laku Laku, Lancelot. Plus, they got a Kaja as well, so they can keep that Melissa or Ubatizi in check in the gold lane.
Man, you know what? Even though Argentina did win that out, you know what Brazil has coming for them is that gold lane, that Melissa. I'm actually not surprised. The early game of a Melissa is so good, especially with your muddles, obviously. Super duper strong harass. That even the Beatrix, right, who normally has a very strong early game, you would with the option to go for the snipes, the option to go for shotguns, go for those really scary early game. That's not really, we don't see that right now on the gold lane. But Argentina, they're really making up for that with some really strong rotations. And the funny thing, Burger Kim, we haven't even seen the Kaja on level 4 yet. We haven't seen any big divine judgments yet.
I mean, just the ring of order is enough, right? It's enough to check the bush. I mean, there was adjustments on the passive of the Kaja, so it's not as spammable. The ring of order wasn't is not as spammable as it used to be, but it's just still pretty good right now, especially with the Eve. Argentina's doing the best that it can, especially here in the first few minutes of the game, and this is something that they can definitely dictate with their just with their lineup because knowing for a fact that if this goes over to the late game, well, there's a Melissa that they have to consider as well.
Yeah, that's true. That Melissa. To be honest, they do have some dive factors, right? They can dive in with the Lapu Lapu later on. You can also make some really interesting plays with that Kaja for sure. But we won't see that right now yet. And I wonder if with this turtle buff they can have enough confidence to do that because if they don't intervene on that goal lane, I have seen that Melissa just break out so many games in half. So definitely something that Argentina will want to watch out for. And but so far so good. They did get first blood. I think they got two kills in that exchange plus a turtle. That must help the at least the global gold for the Beatrix at the very minimum.
Yeah, I think that time Luna already was level 4, so we've seen the blessing of the Moon Goddess in that fight. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, the early game of Argentina really, Highland Bush, that's what I was pointing out earlier, can be super aggressive. Plus, a Lancelot is just the reason why it thrives in this tank meta is because it's not so easy to catch him. He can just dash in, dash out with that turtle, and still unscathed.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I think Brazil basically threw everything but the kitchen sink in that last one. They threw out the Guardian's Barrier, they threw out the Wild Charge, but the Lancelot still got it, and I can see why Argentina picked it up as the first pick. Looking really good at the very minimum. They are taking these objectives. Now, we'll have to go on and hold off a little bit, so don't worry, guys. We might see a restart on the YouTube stream as well. So just refresh your tabs so we can get back onto the game soon. So overall, I think that we will see definitely more aggression coming in from Argentina in the next few minutes because they got to take advantage of this, right? Because again, they do have kind of a problem brewing on the top side of the map.
And here's the thing too, Raphar. I was thinking that since it's a graph jungle here for the side of Brazil, there's also that factor of timing that wild charge. So you have to secure the objectives, right? You're the jungler. You also have some sort of setup here. So the timing has to be right. Even the blessing of the moon goddess of the Estes of Luna will have to be timed properly if they want to survive the clashes first, survive that early game, get that Melissa, get Kupatizi to scale up pretty well, and eventually like win this thing mid to late game. But for now, they have to hold on to their fourth first and be sure that they get as much resources as they need.
Yeah, I think that was actually a pretty good call. I mean, we now see the reason why his name is Hide on Bush. I thought he was gonna go for a Tigreal, right? We all thought that, but no. His name is Hide on Bush because he's gonna be in the jungle a lot. Because he's a Lancelot. All right. I'm sorry, that was horrible. We will go in a little break here, but when we come back, we will continue game number 1 between Argentina and Brazil right here in the IESA 2023 Road to WE Championship. Stay tuned.